welcome to Pakistan Today. From our Islamabad studio, I'm Chris Taylor. Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani has met U.S. President Donald Trump on the sidelines of the G7 summit in France. The two leaders discussed Middle East security and investment cooperation. President Trump said the newly announced agreement with Iran should prove successful and expressed confidence that negotiations for a second phase would be easier. He dismissed reports suggesting U.S. investment in Iran, calling them baseless, and described the agreement as fair. Trump also said he had no choice but to authorize military action against Iran last week, while praising the outcome of the subsequent deal. Emir Sheikh Tamim thanked President Trump for his leadership and voiced hope for positive developments across the region. In a related development, President Trump has warned that, in his words, all hell will rain down on Iran if it attempts to acquire a nuclear weapon. Speaking to reporters at the G7 summit, Trump said the agreement clearly states that Tehran will never possess nuclear arms and emphasized that preventing Iran from obtaining such weapons remains his top priority. Commenting on regime change, he said he has never supported the idea, describing Iran's current leadership as rational and arguing that regime change does not work. Trump also criticized the previous nuclear agreement negotiated during the Obama administration, calling it a pathway to a nuclear weapon. Meanwhile, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says ending the war in Lebanon is the most important issue included in the peace memorandum announced with the United States. Addressing foreign diplomats, Araghchi said the agreement calls for an immediate and permanent ceasefire on all fronts, including Lebanon. He stated that Iran views the United States and Israel as one side of the conflict, while Iran and Hezbollah represent the other. According to Araghchi, future talks between Tehran and Washington will proceed in two stages, beginning with regional security and reconstruction issues, followed later by discussions on nuclear matters and sanctions relief. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance has also indicated that President Trump may release an initial draft agreement on ending the Iran conflict before Friday. Vance described the document as a brief framework of around 1.5 pages. His comments come after President Trump claimed that a deal with Iran had already been signed. At the same time, Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Majid Takht Ravanchi said formal negotiations would begin after a memorandum of understanding is signed in Switzerland. He added that Iran's delegation will be led by Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, while the U.S. side will be headed by Vice President J.D. Vance. Back in Pakistan, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has directed authorities to accelerate work on the 100-megawatt solar power project in Gilgit-Baltistan. Chairing a review meeting, the Prime Minister said the federal government would bear the full cost of the project to provide clean electricity to residents of the region. He instructed officials to ensure transparency throughout implementation and ordered independent third-party validation. Authorities reported that the solarization of government buildings and homes in Gilgit, Skardu, Chilas, and Koplu is progressing under the initiative. Turning to Punjab, the provincial government has released its budget documents for the fiscal year 2026 to 27. The proposed budget totals 5,903.46 billion rupees, while current expenditure is estimated at 1,962.93 billion rupees, representing a 3.1% decrease compared with the previous fiscal year. The budget proposes a 7% increase in salaries for government employees and a 3.5% increase in pensions for retired workers. Chief Minister Maryam Nawaz Sharif said the budget focuses on public relief without introducing new taxes and directed departments to improve revenue collection. Finally, the National Disaster Management Authority has issued a nationwide weather alert covering June 16th through June 20th. The NDMA warns that heavy rainfall, thunderstorms, and possible hailstorms may affect several parts of the country as a western weather system moves across upper and northern regions. Authorities have cautioned that rising temperatures and glacier melt could trigger flash floods in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Azad Kashmir, and Gilgit-Baltistan. The alert also notes the risk of glacial lake outburst floods in vulnerable northern areas. Citizens and tourists are being advised to stay informed and check weather and road conditions before traveling. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today. I'm Chris Taylor.